Hi everyone, it's me, Katrina Weaver, linguist founder for Milingua and Lingua Plus. And today we're talking about emotional attachment. Well, not emotional attachment to a person, but to a language. And what I've discovered, this could serve you quite well if you're embarking on a language journey. Well, talking about our say emotions, feelings, associations with certain languages, we may notice that some languages feel like, oh, like home. Some languages are more perhaps extroverted, and some feel like more introverted. And then perhaps when you were a kid, you were exposed to, well, TV series, movies, music, in particular language, books, and you have fond childhood memories about that language and culture. Or perhaps you are coming from a multicultural family and maybe you remember how you were going to your grandparents or your aunts to a specific country with specific language, and you also have certain memories here around that, and that kind of, so there's some sort of, feelings of, yeah, home and joy. I believe we all have that if we've been exposed to certain experiences in a particular language or a couple of languages. And this is also true if you communicate in a specific language, just like to one person or a group of people, perhaps it's your family, while at school, at uni, you communicate in other languages, because this also creates those emotional bonds. Yeah, how you bond to people in a specific language. Perhaps you've noticed when you meet someone for the first time and you start speaking with them in a certain language. Let's say you speak English, Spanish, French, German. It's like you meet the person and you start speaking to the person in French because maybe this person speaks English and French. So if you persist speaking in French during your first encounter, so what happens, you attach that language and your emotional experiences, that person, so you know that you can speak in French, you can express yourself in French. However, if you try to switch to English with this person, it may feel a bit off, a bit weird. That's what happens when we create those associations, emotional attachments. Of course, with some people, we may get used to speaking in different languages simultaneously just because here we're feeling it's fun. Yeah, or it's our secretive language. Who knows? But I feel that's really important to pay attention to, because then if you are learning those languages, it will be much easier for you to tap into them. It's as I mentioned here, if you have any childhood associations, childhood memories connected to specific language, what indeed you can do, you can, well, use it in a good way, right? Like in my case, I was brought up exposed to movies, books, well, culture of, well, mostly I would say European countries, even though yeah, my father was talking a lot as well about Asia, but I watched Italian movies, French movies, reading a lot about Greek, well, part of, I mean, Greek mythology and also the Roman Empire. And as a result of that, my teenage years, it felt natural for me to pick up Italian because I felt that I grew up with that culture. Something similar about French with French literature or Spanish. Think about it. If you've actually had such experiences where you were exposed, yeah, like by your parents, grandparents, maybe your teachers at school, and think how it could help you. Because for me, it was just looking in the media, saying, oh yeah, I watched this movie when I was like 5 years old. Let's watch it again. Now let's see how I understand it. Um, like this book, yeah, I read it when I was 10. Okay, let's try it out. So this brings those, yeah, emotions from childhood that help us to move forward, right? This sort of like nostalgia. Or perhaps you have like your favorite bands, singers, actors, painters, yeah, writers, anyone of emotional significance from particular culture, you can also use that as a motivation to learn a language. This motivation, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to start learning because I need to get a job in that country in that language, but like I don't like really that culture. No, it's not about that. It's about joy that you had previous emotional attachment to that culture, to that language, or a person, or a media, or an event, experience, whatever it is, you can use it, and then you can build up positive emotional experience for you during the learning process. And I think that's what's amazing, because often we pay attention, let's say, to the wrong motivators, so like trying to act out of obligation, uh, rather than just focusing on what indeed inspires us, what feels natural. So if you're right now learning a specific language for, let's say, a job, try to tap into your experiences, your previous experiences in the language. Maybe you have a teacher that inspired you while you were talking now to this teacher, you feel very comfortable. Or maybe you have a friend with whom you can talk in that language. Or maybe you watched a TV series that really inspired you, yeah, again, like to, change your perspective. Whatever it is, try it out. I also feel that when we create experiences in those languages, and I talked about it other videos, we give certain emotional backgrounds, emotional homes to kind of spaces in those languages. So when we switch between them, we can tap into certain moods. For somebody, it may be nostalgia because maybe you went last summer to Portugal, you spoke Portuguese, but you don't speak Portuguese anymore because you are back to the UK or Germany or wherever. And perhaps this kind of invokes in you those memories, those feelings, and you enjoy speaking that language. Or maybe it's something, about a particular person with whom you spoke, it like your friends, and you feel suddenly home. There's so many ways how we may feel jumping from language to language, especially if we have rich experiences in them. Therefore, my suggestion, if you are learning now a language or you speak a few languages, observe, have a look. There's this retrospective analysis, like just have a look what's happening like inside when you're speaking those languages. Do you have any emotional attachments right now, like those languages? Have you been developing certain attachments, certain experiences? Do you have this nostalgic feelings from your childhood or a specific period of your life when you spoke that language? What happens to you? And then how you can use like, this particular experience in order to tap even deeper into that language and culture. Oh, I'm looking forward to your answers and comments. And well, I'm open to more questions and we'll film more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, follow, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.